The astronomers, a few decades earlier, they described how the universe came into existence. They call it the Big Bang. And they said initially there was one primary nebula, which later on it separated with a Big Bang, which gave rise to galaxies, stars, sun, and the earth we live in. This information is given in a nutshell in the glorious Quran in Surah Anbiya, chapter 21, verse number 30, which says, Avalam yara lazina kafaru. Do not the unbelievers see anna samawati wal arda kanat ratkan mustaqnahuma, that the heaven and the earth were joined together and we clove them asunder. Imagine this information which they came to know recently, the Quran mentions 1400 years ago. When I was in school, I had learned that the sun, in respect to the earth, it was stationary. The earth and the moon, they rotated about the axis, but the sun was stationary. But when I read a verse of the Quran saying, in Surah Anbiya, chapter 21, verse number 33, it says, Huwa allazi khalaqa al-layla wan-nahara. It is Allah who has created the night and the day. Wash-shamsa wal-qamar, the sun and the moon. Kullun fi falaki yasbahun, each one traveling in orbit with its own motion. Now, alhamdulillah, modern science has confirmed the Quranic statement. The Arabic word used in the Quran is yasbahun, which describes the motion of a moving body. When it refers to a celestial body, it means it is rotating about its own axis. So Quran says the sun and the moon, they revolve as well as rotate about their own axis. Today we have come to know that the sun takes approximately 25 days to complete one rotation. It was Edwin Hubble who discovered that the universe is expanding. The Quran says in Surah Dhariyat, chapter 51, verse number 47, that we have created the expanding universe, the vastness of space. The Arabic word mosiona refers to vastness, the expanding universe. Regarding the topics on astronomy which Dr. William Campbell touched, I will deal in the rebuttal, inshallah. In the field of water cycle, Dr. William Campbell pointed out certain things. The Quran describes the water cycle in great detail. And Dr. William Campbell mentioned 4 stages. In his book, he mentions 4 A and B. The last one he didn't mention in the slide, I don't know why. It says that replenishing the water table, he missed out here, maybe because not mentioned in the Bible. He said there is not a single verse in the Quran which speaks about evaporation. Quran says in Surah Tariq, chapter number 86, verse number 11, Rajus Sama, that by the capacity of the heavens to return. And almost all the commentary of the Quran, they said that this verse of Surah Tariq, chapter 86, verse number 11, refers to the capacity of the heaven to return back rain, meaning evaporation. Dr. William Campbell, who knows Arabic, may say, why didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifically mention wasamai zatil matar, meaning the capacity of the heaven to return back rain? Why did Allah mention specifically? Now we have come to know why didn't Allah do that in His divine wisdom. Because today we have come to know that besides the ozonosphere, the layer above the earth, besides returning back rain, it even returns back other beneficial matter and energy of the earth which is required by the human beings. It does not only return back rain, today we have come to know it even returns back waves of telecommunication, of television, of radio, by which we can see TV, we can communicate, we can hear the radio. And besides that, it even returns back the harmful rays of the outer space back on the other side and absorbs. For example, the ultraviolet rays of the sunlight is absorbed by the ionosphere. If this was not done, life on the earth would have ceased to exist. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is far superior and far more accurate when it says Raja Sama, by the capacity of the heaven to return. And the remaining things, as he mentioned, is there in the Quran. You can refer to my video cassette. The Quran described the water cycle in great detail. Regarding what he said about the Bible, he showed stage 1 and stage 3 in the first slide. And the second, stage 1, 3 and then 2. That the rainwater is taken up, he says, and then the rainwater comes on the earth. This is the philosophy of Phase of Miletus in 7th century BC. He thought that the spray of the ocean was picked up by the wind and fell into the interior as rain. There's no cloud mentioned there. In the second quotation Dr. William Campbell gave, first is according to him evaporation, which we agree, we don't mind having the concordance approach with the Bible. Then rain falls down and then other clouds formed. That is not the complete water cycle. Alhamdulillah, the Quran describes the water cycle in great detail in several places. How does the water rise, evaporates, form into clouds, the clouds join together, they stack up, there's thunder and lightning, water comes down, the clouds move into the interior, they fall down as rain, and the replenishing of the water table, and alhamdulillah in great detail. The Quran speaks about the water cycle in great detail in several places. In Surah Nur, chapter number 24, verse number 43. In Surah Rum, chapter number 30, verse 48. In Surah Az-Zumur, chapter 39, verse 21. In Surah Mu'minun, chapter 23, verse number 18. In Surah Rum, chapter number 30, verse number 24. In Surah Al-Hijr, chapter 15, verse number 22. In Surah Araf, chapter number 7, verse number 57. In Surah Ra'd, chapter number 13, verse number 17. In Surah Furqan, chapter 25, verse number 40 and 49. In Surah Fatir, chapter number 35, verse number 9. In Surah Yasin, chapter 36, verse number 34. In Surah Jasha, chapter 45, verse number 5. In Surah Qaf, chapter number 50, verse number 9. In Surah Waqia, chapter number 56, verse number 16 and 17. In several places. Surah Mulk, chapter 67, verse number 30. The glorious Quran speaks about the water cycle in great detail. Dr. William Campbell spent maximum time on embryology, about half his talk. Quite a lot on geology and touched on other 6 topics. I've noted down. In the field of geology we have come to know today, the geologists they tell us that the radius of the earth is approximately 3,750 miles. And the deeper layers, they are hot and fluid and cannot sustain life. And the superficial part of the earth's crust which we live on, it is very thin. Hardly 1 to 30 miles. Some portions are thicker, but majority 1 to 30 miles. And there are high possibility that this superficial layer, the earth's crust, it will shake. It is due to the folding phenomena which gives rise to mountain ranges, which gives stability to this earth. Quran says in Surah Nabah, chapter number 78, verse number 6 and 7. We have made the earth as an expanse, wal jabala autada, and the mountains as stakes. The Quran doesn't say mountains were thrown up as stakes. Mountains as stakes. Arabic word autad means stakes, meaning tent peg. And today we have come to know, in the study of modern geology, that mountain has got deep roots. This was known in the second half of the 19th century. And the superficial part that we see of the mountain is a very small percentage. The deeper part is within. Exactly like a stake, how it is driven in the ground. You can only see a small part on top, the majority is down in the ground. Or like a tip of the iceberg, you can see the tip on the top, and about 90% is beneath water. The Quran says, in Surah Ghashiyah, chapter 88, verse number 19, and Surah Naziyat, chapter number 79, verse number 32. Wal jibala arsaha, and we have made